All right, Fennell here today to show you how to make a cheek cell slide so you can see your own cells today. So like any other slide, we start with just one tiny drop of water. So once again, you don't need much in your cup. Probably half a cup of water will do when you get that today. And you're gonna start with just one tiny drop of water on your slide, kind of like that, all right? Then the next thing you have to do is get a flat toothpick. And as Ms. Fennell or Mr. Douglas will demonstrate for you in class, you're just going to rub that toothpick on the inside of your cheek for about 30 seconds. All right, so I'm gonna pretend like I just rubbed the toothpick on the inside of my cheek for 30 seconds. Then what you're gonna do, now you have your cheek cells on the end of your toothpick. And so you're just lightly going to dab it in the water a few gentle times. The key is to be gentle, all right? And now, hopefully we have our cheek cells in the water. Most important step of the day, Icky Spitty toothpick goes directly and immediately to the trash, all right? Now, if I put a cover slip on it to look at it at this point, my issue would be I have clear cheek cells on a white background. So we're gonna solve that problem with a dye called methylene blue. So we're gonna cheat a little bit here today, and we are going to put some methylene blue on our slide and actually dye our cheek cells blue. Okay, so you just need, now this stuff will stain. If you get it on your clothes, the best thing to do right away is take the clothing over to the sink and rinse it off really good and under some water. It does come out if you spray and wash it right away when you get home and throw it in the laundry, it'll probably come out, but be real careful. Try not to get this on your clothes today because it is a stain, it is a dye, all right? I'm gonna take one tiny little drop. All you need is one tiny drop. If you mess up and it goes all over the place, then go rinse off your slide and start again, okay? So you don't want it like going all over the edges of the slide because it'll be a real big mess later. So if it doesn't look like this, if you get too much, you got too shaky, rinse it off and start over, okay? So now I'm gonna put my cover slip on. Isn't that kind of cool? Ooh, I got a big bubble in there. Look, you can see the big bubble. Now I have solved one problem but created another. Now I have dark blue cells plus a big bubble on a dark blue background. That's no good either. So the little trick that we're gonna use to get our dye out of here while keeping the cheek cells in here is we're gonna use a piece of paper towel. So please try to get a Bounty piece of paper towel. These tend to be more absorbent and work a little bit better. And I like to kind of fold mine in half, but you don't have to. And essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna put water on one side of the slide. It doesn't really matter. I like to put it on the left, and then I'll put a drop of water so it's touching the edge of the cover slip. It has to be touching the edge of the cover slip, if you see there. You can see already it's starting to move under the cover slip. And I'm just gonna take my paper towel and absorb. This takes a little patience. And I like to keep moving. Now, you got dye all over this paper towel. If you touch that to your skin or to the desk or whatever, you're gonna get dye everywhere. So careful once you start using this paper towel that you're not getting it everywhere. You can use a few pieces of paper towel, and sometimes I kind of push it together like that and keep moving it around a little bit and have some patience. You gotta make sure it's making contact there and it's soaking up the stuff good. Then sometimes I kind of go back to the other side and kind of go that way with it, all right? And this will take you a couple of minutes to get this exactly right. I'm gonna put another drop on this side and see, our goal is to make this whole slide. I'm gonna grab a fresh piece of paper towel here. And our goal is to get this to be white and try to get all the blue out from underneath that, all right? There it goes. And then hopefully what's happening is it's leaving dark blue cheek cells behind and on a white background, all right? That's probably good enough. Not the best slide I've ever made, but it's probably good enough, all right? You probably don't wanna look at the dark blue area here or here or here. Give it one final just light tap before you put it on your scope, because we wanna make sure you don't have any blue outside of, ooh, look, I got a little eking out down here. You wanna make sure you don't have any blue that's gonna get onto our lenses, all right? So you want it to look like that. Should look pretty close to something like that. And now, once again, hopefully you have light blue cells on a clear white background. Good luck.